This this is the solar eclipse that was viewed over South America, I believe. Check this out. Isn't that wild? See the magnetic field in the corona around the moon. Looks just like an apple core, or an apple. Just thought I'd share that. That's pretty wild. And of course, full solar eclipse is a symbolic representation of ascension. When we find our true being, when we find our innermost self through the outside world. Now, the subject of the book of Genesis is ascension, creation, and the kingdoms of the cosmos. Creation is the result of ascension, which generates the infinite ocean of the abyss. The light outside the cosmos has an influence within it by the connections its region makes with galactic centers, since they share the same timeless state as the outermost environs of the cosmos. The first kingdom, then, is the light in the abyss as the defining dual principle behind creation. Genesis 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. According to the Kabbalistic tradition, the secret of the universe is hidden in the first letter in Genesis, in Hebrew. The first letter is B, which means house. Technically, we may understand that a house is an interface between an inside and an outside. Herein really is the secret to the universe, since its secret is to house spirit in flesh in order that spirit may rise to perfection by finding its own definition from its ineffable source, squaring the circle. Since the cosmos is surrounded by an infinite abyss and contains singular centers, the production of cosmic material that generates creatures on planets occurs between these two extremes, zero and infinity, inside and outside. If we are not able to understand the secret from the first letter, God is, in his infinite wisdom, has repeated the details of the secret in the first verse. In this single sentence is the entirety of physical reality, from God's kingdom of heaven to the abyss and its light and cosmic cycle. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. We are told here about the abyss first, because we expand into the abyss in Ascension. And so the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters as we look into the void initially. The abyss is an infinite scalar field, in modern terms, like a sea of potential or ocean of chaos, full of fluctuating values as a basic material like clay. The timeless expansion we experience that generates the abyss is the great flood of ancient myth, because this is the production by God of the original ocean from which all things are made. Being infinite in extent and undefined as a result, the flood idea relates to the creation of the flood ocean of chaos. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. We see the light when we turn around in the void after we arrive. As a result of this sequence of events, the light is mentioned after the darkness of the abyss, even though the expansion event starts from the center of our head, where the pineal center is, producing the light first. We don't see it initially and have it to turn around to do so. This strongly suggests the text is following the event of ascension. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Day and night, or evening, are specified to highlight the duality between the light and the abyss in which it resides forever. The constant use of the phrase involving day and night is to emphasize the natural nature of duality throughout the layers of creation. The first day then, is the primeval duality. The English word day is the word deus, meaning God. In application to this text, then a day is a kingdom. Since there are 7 days, kingdoms to creation, all of which involve duality, the first day is the first kingdom of the abyss and the light, as the yin-yang duality from the original unity of ineffable God. In this case, the light is the finite element and the abyss is the infinite in their unified relationship. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." And so God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. We see the light when we turn around in the void after we arrive. As a result of this sequence of events, the light is mentioned after the darkness of the abyss, even though the expansion event starts from the center of our head, where the pineal center is, producing the light first. We don't see it initially and have to turn around to do so. This strongly suggests the text is following the event of ascension. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And I already read this about the day. The word day means God. And a day is a kingdom, since there are 7 days, 7 kingdoms to creation, all of which involve duality. The first day is the first kingdom of the abyss and the light, as a yin-yang duality from the original unity of ineffable God. In this case, the light is the infinite, or is the finite element, and the abyss is the infinite in their unified relationship. This is like the Fibonacci sequence where it starts with 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, right? And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters that separate water from water." So God made a vault and separated the water under the vault from water above the vault, and it was so. So we find a description concerning the generation of the cosmos in the abyss as the waters below, distinguished from the ocean of the bottomless abyss as the waters above. God called the vault sky, and there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And remember, whenever there's a morning and evening or morning and night, it's the duality principle. In cosmic terms, this portion of the text may relate to the great energetic and creative event known as the Big Bang in modern physics that expands from the end of the light's right hand, light like an expanding balloon. Within the confines of the cosmic process, we find that galactic centers are connected directly with the outermost region of the cosmos, since they both share the same timeless condition. If time associates with distance, timelessness must associate with no distance, its opposite. If we want to get to the outer issue of the universe, we have to go to the innermost part. This relationship is mimicked in the human creature, whose connection to the Great Spirit is within. From galactic center comes gamma radiation, apparent as the energetic vector light they produce at their centers, surrounded by the stuff of the atomic and mineral kingdoms as stars and planets. The next portion of the text relates to the appearance of planetary land and oceans. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered at one place, and let the dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and gathered the waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. On the planet like Earth, things grow from earth and water. The kingdom of vegetation is being alluded to now from the mineral molecular level. Again, we are reminded of the duality of creation with the reference to day and night. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. From the level of vegetation, we find the generation of creatures, from production of the nervous system to the psyche. The psyche is made and becomes all creatures with nervous systems, reactive and sensitive to vector light. And God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years. And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. This text is referring to the view of the psyche as a starry canopy, and real days and nights, of course, on earth, with the specification of the sun and moon as the greater and lesser lights. As the psyche develops over time, creatures develop into more and more complex forms from the world ocean. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the skies." God created the great creatures of the sky and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful, increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. Creatures come onto the land from the sea to further develop into creatures we see today. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Finally, we have the formation of mankind on earth in the image of Brahman, cosmic man, as mind, light, and heart, body, which is the cosmos. Our image is the image of the thrice greatness of God as Brahman. Humans are created from the nature of the cosmic being, Brahman. So the cosmic man, broken down, is the mind is the light, the heart, the body is the cosmos. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." The rational creature has dominion over the kingdoms before it, only because it has come from those kingdoms, as their accumulation, as elements of Brahman. Eve is the secret of the heart, as the cosmos, and Adam the secret of the brain, as the light. There's the seven kingdoms, which also could be heaven is mentalism, Hades is correspondence as above, so below, radiation is vibration, atomic is polarity, mineral is rhythm, vegetable is cause and effect, and creature is gender. And then back to mentalism. and each is an accumulation of the one previous to it, and all that's previous to it. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food, and all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it. I give every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. For now, before God has rest from the greater endeavor, we have a complete rundown of the basis of reality, the light and cosmos of kingdoms in a bottomless ocean. In Genesis 2, thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing, so on the seventh day he rested from all of his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. The work of God is the great work, gathering clay to make bricks to make a pyramid that rises in unification to a single point of definition and truth. When found, there is rest, and the creation event of the primary relationship in the abyss. The last day, Deus, of Genesis, sees the rest afforded those who find rest in heaven when they become fully aware of the true self and spirit. This union fills the individual with divine spirit, readying it to generate creation again, the first kingdom, when singular nature is realized as the cycling union of dual opposites. The psyche now becomes Jerusalem, the abode of peace, or the peace psyche at rest. Genesis goes on from here to describe the creation of the human condition as two primeval persons, Adam and Eve. This is the account of the heavens and earth when they were created. When the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, now no shrub had yet appeared on earth, and no plant had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground. But streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground, vegetable kingdom. Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living being. Ascension. This passage is evidently a resume of the natural kingdom, starting with the overall scheme of reality, the heavens and the earth, from heaven to the abyss with its light and cosmos, then jumping to the mineral kingdom and completing the description of rational beings becoming one with Brahman. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put a man he had formed. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life is the light, and the tree of good and evil is the cosmos, both at the center of all things, axis mundi. Knowledge of good and evil is the issue of the cosmos, being indifferent and automatic, evil, while also being the foundation of finding and generating ascension and the light. Creation is hell, evil, in the abyss. Dimensionless heaven is just right. In contrast, knowledge of these two only comes from the experience of physical creation, which is why many trees are mentioned before the main trees of Eden. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headwaters. The name of the first is Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good, aromatic resin, and onyx are also there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush. The name of the third river is Tigris. It runs along the east side of Ashur, and the fourth river is Euphrates. The river watering Eden is the water of life, the light. The beams that extend from the light go out in four main directions as the four headwaters, Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. And it's like northeast, southwest, right? Or the fixed zodiac, right? Pishon means extension of the mouth that encircles the land of Hawala, that suffers pain, that brings forth like birth. Gihon means the burst force, to burst force. Tigris means tiger. Euphrates means the good and abounding river. The Lord took the man and put him in a garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." Death is assured in the cosmos, as opposed to the eternal state of the light of Brahma. In other words, life will kill us physically when we incarnate as creatures from Brahman, as the light is alone at first when seen by us. The issue is of its companion cosmos is now the subject of the text. I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think. I just thought I'd share that with you. But it seems our duality is lessons for us to learn the true dualism of the light and the abyss, and the unity of oneness. This is why I made that video the other day, the trifling of one, because the Fibonacci sequence starts out 1 1 2 3 5 7 12, etc. Think about that. From the 1 comes the 2, comes the 3, right? Much love, peace, chicken grease, you all. Mankind is made in the image of the Brahman, cosmic being, with a heart of 7 muscles and a mind of reason that finds the light. Life also has the duality of gender, male and female. When Adam had 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named it Seth. The light as creator produces creatures that merge with God and reproduce his likeness exactly as the pineal light, now called Seth. The number 130 may be taken as the Hebrew letters Qoph and Lamad, whose numeric values are 130 respectively, and the letters of Rabbi Akiva. The full spelling of the letter Lamad, Lamed Mem Dalet, is read as a short for the phrase, a heart that understands knowledge. The literal meaning of Lamed, is to learn or to teach. Qoph means ape. The ape that learns truth is the human being when the light is reproduced. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Since the first chapter of the book of Noah confirms that the character written as Noah is, in fact, the light of the head, we may take his 3 sons to be the 3 columns of the tree of life, the cosmic blueprint. Okay, that's it. I'm done.